There are days when you don't even realize how many unseen forces were working in your favor. You wake up, you move through the hours, you handle what's in front of you, and by the time the day winds down, you may look back and say, I didn't think I could get through that. Yet here you are, still breathing, still standing, still moving forward. And that is not an accident. That is not coincidence. That is not luck. That is a reminder, subtle, gentle, but powerful, that a divine hand was guiding you, lifting you, carrying you, and shielding you in ways you may never fully understand. When you think about all the challenges you face today, both the ones others saw and the ones no one will ever know, you begin to sense that something larger than yourself was protecting you. Maybe it was in the conversation you were afraid to have, but somehow found the words for. Maybe it was in the moment you felt a wave of anxiety rise up, but then something inside calmed you. Maybe it was in the decision you didn't feel ready to make, but still managed to choose the path that kept you aligned with your best self. These moments are not random. They are divine whispers saying, you are not alone. I am here. Keep going. There are experiences that could have broken you but didn't. Situations that could have drained your spirit but somehow strengthened it instead. People who tried to bring you down but failed because something within you, something sacred, something eternal, refused to let you collapse. And while you may give yourself credit for your discipline, your patience, your resilience, remember that you are being supported by a power that sees what you cannot see, a power that knows your path, your purpose, your possibilities long before you do. Sometimes the greatest miracles are the ones that look ordinary. You made it safely from one place to another. You received a call that changed your energy. You heard a word that gave you clarity. You felt a moment of peace in the middle of chaos. You found yourself laughing again after hours of heaviness. None of these things are small. They are evidence that divine grace was woven into your day, evidence that you were held from above, evidence that nothing you faced today was faced alone. Every experience, every emotion, every challenge carried a message inside it. Today taught you something, maybe about strength, maybe about faith, maybe about patience, maybe about trust. And even if the lesson isn't clear yet, the fact that you made it through means the lesson is taking root. You are being shaped, molded, expanded into someone capable of carrying more light, more wisdom, more truth. You are evolving through every breath, every step, every encounter. This is the work of divine presence, not controlling your life, but guiding your awareness. There were moments today when you felt tired, perhaps even discouraged, but still continued. There were moments when the weight on your chest felt heavy, yet you kept breathing through it, trusting, sometimes consciously, sometimes unconsciously, that something would shift. And it did. The shift may have been small, but it was enough to move you forward. Enough to remind you that you are capable. Enough to show you that support is always around you, even in the silence. Think of all the things that could have gone differently today. The accidents that didn't happen. The words you didn't say that would have caused harm. The impulsive reactions you resisted. The small intuition you followed that kept you aligned. The conversations that flowed in your favor. These are not accidents. These are signs that divine energy was placing its hand over your life, guiding you like a gentle current steering a ship through uncertain waters. When you trust this presence, you begin to notice that nothing is random. The right people show up at the right time. The right ideas surface when you most need them. The right answers arrive when your mind becomes quiet enough to receive them. Even delays, detours, and closed doors become part of the plan, repositioning you, redirecting you, protecting you from paths that would have harmed your soul. Today, some things didn't happen the way you wanted, but they happened the way you needed. And that is divine alignment unfolding in real time. Every time you felt overwhelmed and thought, I can't do this, some inner strength rose up inside you and said, yes, you can. Every time you felt alone, something, maybe a memory, maybe a thought, maybe a whisper from within, reminded you that you are protected. Every time you felt lost, a quiet intuition nudged you forward. These are signs that divine guidance is not something outside of you. It is something moving through you. Your survival today is not just survival, it is evidence of purpose. You didn't make it through the day just to end where you were. You made it through because there is still more for you to experience, more for you to give, more for you to receive. You made it through because your presence matters. Your energy matters. Your life matters. You are part of a greater plan, even on days when you can't see the bigger picture. Notice how your mind shifted today, how something that once terrified you feels a little less intimidating, how something that confused you now seems more understandable, how something that hurt you is slowly losing its power. That is healing unfolding quietly, naturally, divinely. Healing doesn't always announce itself. Sometimes it looks like waking up and realizing you handled something better than you would have last year. Sometimes it looks like choosing peace over reaction. Sometimes it looks like not letting someone's words disturb your inner world. All of these moments are signs that you are being guided toward a higher version of yourself. There were blessings today that you didn't even notice. The breath you took without pain, the sunlight that touched your skin, the water you drank that refreshed your body, the small kindness someone showed you, the softness in a stranger's eyes, the way a worry dissolved without you doing anything. These are miracles disguised as ordinary moments. Gifts wrapped in simplicity, divine signs that life is supporting you even when you're not asking for support, and you may not always acknowledge this support. Because life moves fast. Responsibilities pile up. Distractions pull your attention, but at the end of the day, when you pause, even for a moment, you begin to recognize that you are being carried by something greater than your fears, something that knows exactly what you need, exactly when you need it, something that holds you even when you think you've fallen. There were times today when you could have reacted out of anger, but you chose patience. That was guidance. Times when you could have spoken harshly, but you chose kindness. That was growth. Times when you could have given up, but you kept going. That was divine strength moving through you. You are not the same person you once were. You are expanding, elevating, awakening, sometimes quietly, sometimes dramatically, but always purposefully. Think of the moments today when your intuition spoke to you. That small nudge telling you to turn left instead of right. That feeling urging you to pause instead of rushing. That inner knowing telling you to trust something you couldn't explain. These moments are sacred. They are communication from the unseen world. They are reminders that guidance happens within before it happens around you. There were also moments today that tested you, moments that stretched your patience, pulled at your emotions, challenged your peace. But these moments weren't here to break you. They were here to strengthen your faith. They were here to deepen your awareness. They were here to teach you what still needs healing. Every challenge delivered wisdom, every frustration delivered insight, every difficulty refined your spirit in ways that comfort never could. And now, as you reflect on everything you survived today, everything you accomplished, everything you navigated, you may begin to feel a subtle gratitude rising from within. Not because the day was perfect, but because you were supported, rough every imperfection. Not because everything went your way, but because you were guided through what didn't. Not because the path was easy, but because you were never walking it alone. Even in your struggles, you were being shaped. Even in your confusion, you were being guided. Even in your silence, you were being heard. Even in your fears, you were being protected. You are covered in ways you cannot always see, guided by a wisdom older than the universe itself. Today was not just another day. Today was sacred. Today was held in divine hands. And the fact that you made it through is proof that your life is surrounded by grace. And as you move deeper into this understanding, as you embrace the idea that a higher presence walked with you throughout the hours, you begin to feel a sense of peace settle into your being. A peace that says, whatever tomorrow brings, I will make it through that too. Not because you are invincible, but because you are supported. Not because you have all the answers, but because guidance will come when needed. Not because everything will always be easy, but because you are never facing anything alone. You are wrapped in protection, bathed in guidance, surrounded by unseen help. And if you quiet your mind long enough, you can almost feel it, the gentle reassurance that you are exactly where you need to be, that every step you took today was purposeful, that every breath you breathed was guided, that every moment, both the beautiful and the difficult, was part of a divine orchestration moving you towards something greater. And as you sit with the awareness that today was guided, you begin to recognize how many times life has carried you even when you thought you were walking alone. There is a deep intelligence woven into every moment, a quiet orchestration moving pieces around you, aligning circumstances and softening the edges of hardships, so they don't break you. It's easy to overlook these things because they're subtle, quiet, soft like a whisper against the noise of a busy mind. But the more you pay attention, the more you see that you were never navigating this world without help. You were being held, nudged, protected, redirected, and gently lifted through every hour. There were moments today when you felt an unexpected calm in situations that once would have overwhelmed you. That calm wasn't an accident. It was a reminder that inner peace can rise within you even in the middle of outer chaos. Something inside you knew what to do. Something inside you guided your breath, softened your thoughts, steadied your emotions. This inner presence is not separate from the divine. It is the divine moving through you, whispering wisdom into your awareness, aligning your reactions with your spiritual truth. And you might think you handled the day because of your skills, your logic, your decisions, but beneath all of that was a quiet presence, steady and patient, guiding you through what your mind didn't even fully comprehend. You didn't dodge difficulties today by accident. You didn't rise above negativity by coincidence. You didn't find strength in your tired moments because you forced it. You were strengthened. You were supported. You were carried by something wiser than fear and stronger than doubt. When you reflect on today, think of the thoughts that came into your mind at just the right moment. A thought that gave you clarity. A thought that reminded you of your worth. A thought that calmed your tension. These weren't random ideas bouncing around. They were inner guidance, delivered with precise timing, helping you shift from confusion to understanding. That is the hand that was over you, not forcing your steps but illuminating them. Today you may have experienced frustration that felt heavier than you. Maybe a conversation pushed a button you thought had healed. Maybe someone's energy unsettled you. Maybe a responsibility weighed on you more than expected, but even in those moments, you didn't collapse. Even in those moments, you found a way to breathe through it. Even in those moments, something inside you said, "This is temporary. Keep moving." That voice, small as it may seem, was not only your strength, it was divine reassurance flowing through your inner world. You handled situations today that your past self would have avoided. You faced things today that once would have scared you. You spoke truths today that once would have remained silent. You were guided to rise above old patterns, old reactions, old doubts. Growth isn't always a dramatic transformation. Sometimes it's the subtle shift in how you move through the familiar. And today you move differently. You moved with awareness. You move with intention. You move with a quiet wisdom that comes from knowing you are being held. And even if moments felt heavy, even if the day wasn't perfect, even if your emotions fluctuated, you stayed present. You didn't abandon yourself. You didn't give up on yourself. That is a sign of divine companionship, because staying present through discomfort isn't easy. It takes support from something deeper than your conscious mind, something ancient, something timeless, something sacred. There were moments today when your heart felt something before your mind understood it. Perhaps you felt drawn toward a certain idea, a certain gesture, a certain decision. That feeling wasn't random. It was a pull from the unseen world, guiding you gently toward alignment. You may not always understand why certain intuitions arise, but when you follow them, they tend to lead you toward clarity, peace, and growth. That inner pull is evidence that you are not wandering aimlessly through. You are being guided step by step in ways that protect you and prepare you. Consider the conversations you had today. Some brought you comfort, some challenged you, some revealed truths you weren't expecting. Others helped you release something you'd been holding on to. And every single one of those interactions had meaning. You were guided to hear what you needed to hear. You were guided to say what needed to be said. You were guided to remain silent when silence was wiser than reaction. The divine hand doesn't only move mountains, it also moves moments, aligning them so they deliver what your soul needs. You may not realize how many battles you avoided today simply because the divine stepped in before you even knew there was danger. Emotional battles, mental battles, spiritual battles, situations that would have triggered you didn't. Conversations that could have escalated didn't. Energies that could have pulled you down passed by without touching you. You were surrounded by a field of protection, one that ensured you stayed anchored in your truth, rather than being dragged into chaos. And maybe there were things that didn't go your way today. Plans changed, timelines shifted, people disappointed you. Circumstances forced you to slow down or take a different route. At the moment, these things may have felt frustrating, but when the divine puts a hand over your day, not everything will unfold according to your expectations. It unfolds according to your growth. A delay might have protected you. A detour might have saved you. A closed door might have redirected you. What may feel like a setback is often a setup for something better. You are being positioned today. Subtly, carefully, intentionally. Even in your moments of impatience, something greater was moving pieces behind the scenes, aligning your path with what will serve your soul in the long run. Life does not rush divine timing, and the fact that you made it through today shows that we're held in the perfect timing of what was meant for you. When you look back on your day, you will notice the small blessings that carried you forward. Someone's kindness, a moment of unexpected laughter, a sudden wave of clarity, an answer that arrived when you stopped overthinking. These blessings are like divine fingerprints placed gently throughout your life. And even if you didn't notice them in the moment, your soul recognized them. Your spirit was nourished by them. They helped you move through the day with more grace than you realized. There were challenges today that looked bigger in the moment than they do now. At the time, they felt heavy. But now, as you reflect on them, you can see that you handled them, you worked through them, you survived them, and maybe they even revealed something about you. Your capacity to stay calm, your ability to choose peace, your willingness to trust what you cannot see. Every challenge carried wisdom within it, and because you made it through, that wisdom is now part of you. Sometimes you only recognize divine support in hindsight. You look back and think, I don't know how I got through that. But you did. You were guided through each moment. You were supported even when you felt alone. You were protected even when you forgot to ask for protection. That is how the divine works, not loudly, not dramatically, but quietly, gently, steadily. Even in your tired moments today, you kept moving. Even in your moments of uncertainty, you remained open. Even when fear tried to creep in, a deeper presence reminded you that fear doesn't have the final say. That reminder may have come through a thought, a feeling, a message, a sign, or a simple breath. But it came. And it came because you were being guided every step of the way. Your spirit listened today, sometimes consciously, sometimes unconsciously. It listened to the whispers of intuition. It listened to the lessons hidden in discomfort. It listened to the truth behind experiences that didn't go as planned. And because you listened, you grew. You may not see the growth immediately, but it is happening. It happens in the way you hold yourself, in the way you breathe through challenges, in the way you choose understanding over reaction, in the way you continue to say yes to life despite everything you've endured. You were never meant to walk through life alone. And today was a perfect example of that truth. The divine doesn't promise that every day will be easy, but it does promise that you will never face a day without protection, guidance, and love surrounding you. And the way you made it through today, through the noise, the pressure, the emotions, the expectations, is proof that the divine hand was over you. Think of how your heart softened at certain moments today. Softening doesn't happen through force. It happens through grace. Something touched your heart, even if only for a second. Something reminded you of your compassion, your empathy, your humanity. That softening was a form of divine healing, loosening tightness around old wounds and allowing your spirit to breathe more freely. And there were moments when you felt something shift inside you without understanding why. You felt lighter, you felt clearer, you felt more grounded. These shifts are signs that the divine is working within you, transforming your inner world in ways your mind cannot fully explain. You are becoming more aligned with your true self, more connected to your purpose, more receptive to guidance, more trusting of the unseen. As you reflect on everything you navigated today, you may realize that your strength didn't come from trying to control life. It came from letting life guide you. It came from trusting the quiet wisdom in your heart. It came from leaning into the divine presence that walks with you in every moment. And as you settle deeper into this awareness, you begin to feel how every breath you took today was guided. The rhythm of your steps, the rise and fall of your emotions, the thoughts that drifted in and out. None of it unfolded in isolation. Everything was connected to something higher, something wiser, something that has always known what your soul needed long before your mind could articulate it. Even the moments that seemed insignificant were part of a greater tapestry of guidance. You made it through those moments because a divine strength flowed quietly beneath the surface of your awareness, holding you steady. There were situations today when you wanted to react out of old patterns, but something softened your impulse. You paused before speaking. You breathed before responding. You reflected before acting. That pause wasn't random. That pause was protection. It was grace stepping in between you and a possible regret. It was a sign that you're not operating from the reactive version of your past self. You're evolving into someone who moves with intention, someone who honors their inner wisdom, someone who feels the presence of something sacred working through them. And perhaps there were moments when words came out of you that you didn't plan, words filled with kindness, patience, or clarity. It's as if you were guided to say exactly what needed to be said, even if you don't fully understand where that wisdom came from. Your soul knew. The divine within you knew. And because of that inner knowing, you made someone's day lighter, or you avoided unnecessary conflict, or you spoke a truth that helped you grow. You were guided not only for your own sake, but also for the sake of others whose lives intersect with yours. Sometimes you underestimate how many people you affect simply by being who you are. A smile, a gentle tone, a moment of patience, a quiet act of understanding, these ripples spread farther than you realize. And today, without even trying, you created ripples that carried grace into the lives of others. That too is evidence that a higher presence was working through you. You weren't just protected. You were used as a vessel for something greater, something healing, something uplifting. There were also moments today when you felt the weight of something unresolved inside you. Maybe an old memory surfaced unexpectedly. Maybe a doubt rose up from within. Maybe you felt a sudden heaviness that didn't match the moment you were in. These emotional waves weren't setbacks. They were opportunities for release. The divine hand over your day didn't stop them from rising. It guided you through them so you could finally acknowledge what needed healing. You weren't meant to suppress those emotions. You were meant to let them surface so they could lose their grip on you. And the fact that you made it through those waves is proof that you're stronger than the things you carry. There were moments of clarity today, flashes of insight that illumina something you've been wrestling with for weeks or even months. These moments didn't come from overthinking, they came from letting go. They came when your mind was quiet enough for your deeper wisdom to speak. Insight is a form of divine communication. It often arrives when you're not searching for it because truth doesn't need to be forced. It reveals itself when you're ready. And today, something within you became ready. Some truth finally found space to land inside your awareness. You might not have realized it at the time, but certain experiences today were nudging you closer to your purpose, a challenge that pushed you to grow, a conversation that shifted your perspective, a delay that created space for reflection, a quiet moment that helped you reconnect with your intuition. Purpose doesn't always appear in grand moments. Often, it reveals itself through simple experiences that collectively shape your path. You were being guided toward that path today, step by step. Even when you weren't consciously thinking about purpose at all, think about how your energy changed throughout the day. There were moments when your spirit felt heavy, and moments when it felt lighter. Moments when your heart tightened, and moments when it softened again. These shifts are signs that your inner world is alive, responding to the divine presence that moves through you. You are not static, nor are you stuck. You are evolving with every experience, every thought, every breath. Even the moments that felt stagnant were quietly transforming you beneath the surface. Sometimes the divine hand over your day doesn't remove obstacles, it strengthens you while you face them. It doesn't erase discomfort, it gives you the resilience to grow through it. It doesn't eliminate challenges, it ensures that you rise above them with more wisdom than you had before. Today, you were strengthened in ways you may not fully recognize yet. The calm you maintained, the patience you practiced, the wisdom you expressed, all of these were signs of inner expansion. You handled more than you thought you could, and that is not something to overlook. There were also moments when you felt a sense of presence, maybe not loud, maybe not obvious, but unmistakable. A sense that you were being watched over. A sense that everything was going to be okay even if you didn't know how. A sense that something was guiding you through the uncertainty. These moments of inner reassurance are not your imagination. They are signals from the deeper part of your soul, the part that is always connected to the divine, the part that knows you are protected, even when your mind forgets. And perhaps there were times today when something unexpected happened, not dramatic, but meaningful. A message arrived at the perfect moment. A person reached out just when you needed connection. A thought crossed your mind that shifted your emotional state. These synchronicities are threads of divine timing woven into your day. They remind you that the universe responds to your inner state, that life aligns with your energy, that you are not moving through randomness, but through purpose-filled moments. Even in your fatigue today, there was purpose. Fatigue isn't a sign of weakness, it's a sign that you've been carrying a lot, learning a lot, expanding a lot, and yet, despite that fatigue, you made it through. You didn't collapse under the weight. You didn't lose yourself in the pressure. You didn't abandon your path. Something bigger than exhaustion carried you. Something deeper than physical strength held you. That is grace. That is divine protection at work. You may have noticed that when you were overwhelmed, life sent you something small to ground you, a moment of silence, a memory, a gentle breeze, a calming thought. These grounding moments are gifts, simple, subtle, but perfectly timed. They remind you that peace is always available, that you can return to your center even when your surroundings feel chaotic. Peace doesn't arrive from outside, it rises from within. And today, it rose within you at the exact moments you needed it. The divine hand over your day was not always dramatic. It was gentle. It was soft. It guided you through the flow of your experiences without forcing anything. It gave you space to feel, space to think, space to grow. It allowed you to move through moments of uncertainty without collapsing into fear. It invited you to trust even when you didn't have answers. That trust is what carried you from one hour to the next, and that trust is growing stronger within you with every passing day. Every conversation you had today, every emotion you felt, every challenge you met brought you closer to the person you are becoming. You may not recognize this version of yourself yet, but it is emerging. You are becoming more aligned, more conscious, more grounded, more connected to your inner wisdom. The divine is shaping you through lived experience, not through force. You are awakening through the events of your life, not separate from them. Think of all the moments when you resisted negativity today, when you chose not to absorb someone else's energy, when you refused to let external chaos disturb your inner world, when you protected your peace even if only for a moment. That was not coincidence. That was your spirit remembering its strength. That was guidance helping you stay centered. That was growth unfolding silently. And as you reflect on the hours that brought you to this moment, you can see that nothing was wasted. Not the struggles, not the calm, not the confusion, not the clarity. Everything served a purpose. Everything taught you something. Everything shaped you in ways that will matter in the days to come. You made it through because something higher walked with you through every moment, speaking to you through intuition, protecting you through redirection, strengthening you through challenge, comforting you through uncertainty. And as you breathe into this moment, you begin to realize something profound. The way you moved through today wasn't just endurance, it was alignment. Something inside you kept guiding you toward choices that protected your peace, even when you felt tempted to slip back into old habits. Every time you took a deeper breath instead of reacting, every time you released something instead of holding on to it, every time you trusted instead of worrying, you were listening to that inner guidance that has always been connected to something greater than what you can see. There were points in your day when you could have broken down, when the weight of everything you've been carrying might have pushed you to withdraw, but instead, you found a way to remain open. You kept your heart soft enough to stay connected to life. Softness is not weakness, it's spiritual strength. It's the ability to stay receptive even when the world tries to harden you. And today, something helped you maintain that softness, even when circumstances challenged your resolve. That helping presence didn't force you, it accompanied you. It stood with you, reminding you in subtle ways that you don't have to carry everything on your own. You might recall a moment when you felt a sudden shift, a moment when something heavy inside you loosened. Perhaps you didn't understand why, but there was a release, a sigh, a thought, a realization that helped you move forward. These inner releases aren't random. They are a sign that the divine is at work within your emotional landscape. Sometimes we think healing happens in dramatic breakthroughs, but most of it happens quietly, gently, through small openings in the heart that widen over time. Today, your heart opened a little more, even if you didn't notice it in the moment. You may have felt alone at certain points, but the truth is that you were never alone. Even in silence, you were supported. Even when you felt misunderstood, there was an understanding presence within you. Even when you doubted your path, something deeper reminded you to keep going. When you look back, you'll see that your steps were guided not only by your intentions, but by an invisible rhythm of protection and purpose that carried you through the unseen moments just as much as the visible ones. There were choices you made today that you didn't fully think through. They simply happened as if your intuition took the lead before your mind could catch up. These choices reflect the wisdom you have been cultivating over time. They show that you are becoming more attuned to the quiet guidance within you, the guidance that leads you toward alignment even when you can't explain it logically. Intuition is the language of the divine within you, and today you heard it more clearly than you realized. Think about the times when you felt a subtle nudge to slow down, to pause, to breathe. Those pauses protected you from unnecessary stress, from saying something you didn't mean, from pushing yourself past your limits. Those pauses weren't emptiness, they were guidance. They were moments when the divine hand rested gently over your day, reminding you that stillness can be as powerful as action, and that you don't have to rush your way through life to feel worthy or productive. There were also moments of connection, small, quiet interactions that carried more meaning than you initially recognized. A kind gesture from someone, a moment of unexpected honesty, a look that conveyed understanding, a message that arrived exactly when you needed it. These moments were reminders that the world communicates with you in ways beyond words. When your heart is open, even briefly, life speaks to you through simple experiences, showing you that you are surrounded by connection even when circumstances feel isolating. You may have noticed that certain things didn't upset you the way they once did. A comment that would have hurt you before didn't carry the same weight. A situation that used to trigger fear now felt manageable. This shift is not accidental. It's evidence of your inner growth. You're beginning to recognize the difference between temporary emotion and lasting truth. You're learning to respond instead of react. You're becoming aware of the illusions that used to control you. And awareness is the first step toward liberation. Your ability to remain centered today, even imperfectly, shows that something within you is stabilizing. That inner stability doesn't come from trying to control life. It comes from trusting life. It comes from realizing that you don't have to cling to every thought or emotion. You can let them pass through you without letting them define you. And the more you practice this, the more grounded you become in your own spirit. Today, you were more grounded than you've been before, even if it didn't feel like it at the time. Might have been moments when you questioned yourself, when doubts crept in, when fear whispered stories that weren't true. But even in those moments, you found a way to keep going. You didn't collapse into the doubt. You didn't surrender to the fear. Something inside you pushed back, not loudly but steadily, reminding you that you've overcome harder days than this, that you've risen from challenges you once thought would break you, that you are stronger than your mind sometimes allows you to believe. Today was not just another day, it was another step deeper into your resilience. You moved through the hours with a quiet strength, even if you felt tired or uncertain. Your body may have been weary, but your spirit kept rising. Your mind may have wandered, but your heart remained open enough to keep listening. You may have doubted your path, but you didn't abandon it. That perseverance is not accidental. It is evidence of the divine endurance placed within you. You were being reminded throughout the day that life doesn't expect you to be perfect. It doesn't require you to know everything, to have everything figured out, or to move flawlessly through each moment. It simply asks that you stay present, that you stay open, that you trust the unseen guidance shaping your steps. And you did. Even when you felt unsure, you stayed connected enough to keep moving forward. That connection is what carried you, even when you weren't consciously aware of it. There were breakthroughs today that you might not recognize until later. Moments when something shifted beneath the surface, moments when an old wound lost a bit of its power, moments when your spirit reclaimed a piece of your strength. Healing often happens this way, quietly, gradually, beneath the surface of daily life. You may not see the change immediately, but you will feel it in the way you approach tomorrow, in the way you think, in the way you breathe. Today, planted seeds of clarity that will reveal their meaning when the time is right. Even the challenges today were guiding you toward a deeper truth. When life tests you, it isn't to punish you, it's to reveal something within you that you hadn't seen before. A strength you didn't know you had, a clarity you didn't know you were capable of, a resilience you didn't know you had earned. Today's challenges were not obstacles. They were invitations. Invitations to rise, invitations to awaken, invitations to grow. And you accepted those invitations, even if reluctantly. You showed up for your own growth. You faced discomfort instead of running from it. You allowed life to shape you instead of resisting every moment that felt unfamiliar. This willingness to grow, this openness to transformation, is the reason you made it through today. It isn't luck. It isn't coincidence. It is the natural unfolding of a soul that is awakening to its own power. There were moments when you felt gratitude today, even if only for a second. Gratitude for a breath, for a moment of quiet, for a small blessing, for someone's kindness, for the opportunity to start again. Gratitude opens the door through which divine guidance can flow more freely. And today, every moment of gratitude, no matter how brief, expanded your connection to the presence that has always been guiding you. You may not realize how much you have changed, but today reflected that transformation back to you in subtle ways. In the choices you made, in the emotions you released, in the insights you received, in the patience you practiced. You are not the same person you were even a few months ago. Something deeper has awakened within you, something stronger, something wiser, and that inner shift guided your steps today, just as much as the unseen hand that protected you from what you weren't meant to face. As you review the quiet victories of your day, you may begin to feel a sense of recognition, a sense that there was purpose behind everything you experienced. You didn't just survive today, you moved through it with a grace you might not fully acknowledge. Grace that arose from within you, yes, but also grace that surrounded you, carried you, and whispered to your spirit when your mind was tired. This grace is not something you earn, it is something that flows naturally when you allow yourself to be held by something greater. And so as you walk out of this moment and step back into the rhythms of your life, carry with you the quiet awareness that nothing you faced today was random. Nothing was accidental. Every breath, every pause, every moment of strength you didn't know you had was held, guided, and supported by a presence that has never once left your side. You made it through because something greater than fear carried you. You rose because something wiser than doubt whispered your name. You kept going because the unseen hand that shaped your very soul reached into your day and cleared a path where your eyes saw none. Let this truth soften you. Let it steady you. Let it remind you that you are never as alone as the world once made you believe. Whenever life feels heavy, return to this remembrance. The same hand that lifted you today will lift you tomorrow and the day after that and every day beyond. Trust in that. Rest in that. Walk with that, because the one who brought you through this day will bring you through every day you have yet to live. And there is nothing more reassuring, more empowering, or more miraculous than that.